Hi, I'm Laura Beth Guthrie, and today I am going to be reviewing some of the Terra Beauty Bar nail polishes. That's a sneak peek there on my fingernails right now. But I just got these along with the soy polish remover in my Grove kit. I saw that there was a beauty options through the Grove Roven people, and I will leave my Grove link below if anybody is interested in getting signed up. I really like my box. I pick out what goes in it. I've been able to get some sanitizer when I didn't think I could. I've been able to get some paper towels and stuff of that nature. It's not always there, but I have been able to get some of our staples coming in on a regular basis, and I've got a lot of good cleaning supplies from them that have a lot more of the natural ingredients in them. And that's what the Roven Beauty stuff is. They specifically are looking for brands that are more natural. So the Terra Beauty Bar brand was made by a lady named Fernanda and her two sisters. And Fernanda, if you're watching this, we should talk about me reviewing some more of these things. I would love to do it. I've been very impressed with these. And so what I'm going to do today is I'm just going to talk while you watch like me use the polish remover and paint my nails and stamp them, and just to kind of give you some insight into what all I think worked for me, what I don't think worked for me. And I'm also just going to talk a little bit about some of the different things that you can be doing to make sure that you have healthy nails, different things to eat, different supplements, that kind of thing. So one of the things that I really liked about this brand was that everything was vegan and tin-free. For people who don't know, tin-free, let me just get my notes here because I can't remember all 10 of the ingredients. Tin-free contains no formaldehyde, toluene, DBP, formaldehyde resin, camphor, ethyltoluene, xylene, parabens, acetone, TPHP, TBHP, and no gluten. And this may sound like a bunch of gobbledygook, but essentially a lot of the more dangerous chemicals that can be found in different nail polishes that maybe aren't as health conscious as this brand can include a lot of those different ingredients. And so the fact that they're tin free is fantastic. The problem I've run into in the past with tin free polishes is that they chip really easily. They don't hold up well under any sort of pressure. And of course, you guys know I'm always in my garden, things of that nature. So it was kind of an interesting thing to see, well, is this going to work any better than some of the other stuff that I've got? The other thing that I think is really interesting, I'm going to read this to you here. When I was looking at the Terra Beauty Bars website, they specifically talk about the fact that they are attempting to create something that is helpful for the wellness industry. They specifically are PETA cruelty free and licensed as vegan in South Florida. They are first generation Brazilian Americans. They are veteran and female owned and operated. So it's really kind of neat. It's all made in the USA. I like this. Our product line is crafted with earth ingredients for maximum efficacy and well-being. I really like the fact that they're trying to redefine beauty to meet the needs of the global well-being movement. So again, some people will say, well, the healthiest thing to do is to completely be all natural. And from a chemical and a physiological standpoint, that might be the case because, of course, there's the concern about, well, we don't know what these other ingredients might be doing. But from a holistic perspective, when we're looking at the mind, body, and spirit, I think it makes a lot of sense to have, different things that we can do to pamper ourselves. I mean, you guys see, I've dyed my hair and I love it. And I've used Arctic Fox, which is a vegan, cruelty-free group, and they actually donate 15% of their proceeds to help save the animals. I mean, it's really fantastic. So, and if you go to the Arctic Fox Facebook group, I'm kind of getting off here, but their Facebook group is full of some of the most positive people that I've met. I have been very impressed with some of the people on there. So getting back to this was an issue that I had, and I specifically added this in here because I wanted you guys to see that the lid, there's a piece that looks like it's a dispenser. It's part of the lid. That's actually part of the lid for the nail polish remover. So don't have the blonde moment I had. I was very impressed with how quick this soy polish remover worked on the Essie polish that I had on my fingers. So this is a totally different brand that I have right there, and that's the long-lasting Essie on my nails. And this soy polish remover worked really, really fast. Now, I will tell you that it specifically says on the back of the polish remover, it says to do a patch test. Do not use if you're allergic to soy derivatives. Always patch test prior to use. So that's talking about putting just a little patch of it on your skin and just kind of seeing if you have any kind of reaction to it. I did not see that before I started using it, but I was very impressed with how gentle it felt on my skin, like when it got around my nails. I like the fact that it's got the lavender essential oil. It was not overwhelming. You could tell that it was well diluted. They didn't add too much. You know, some people, in an effort to like get all the good in there, they will add too much of the different essential oils. There wasn't anything like that. I will tell you there is some silica in the nail polish remover, and some people will say that that may exacerbate autoimmune issues, but there's not a lot of research that suggests that silica can absorb through the skin. And other than that, the ingredient list is fantastic, so I was impressed with it. You know, again, if I can find something that I can use once and then not have to use every day polishing up my nails and fixing it up. Yeah, see, there it goes again. That little cap thing was weird. Like, it's just an odd thing. But if I can find something that I can use once or twice, you know, a month, and not have to use it in between, not have to expose myself to extra man-made chemicals, then I'm going to be really excited about that. And as you can see here, it's taking off this nail polish with barely any effort on my part. I was really impressed with this. I wasn't waiting long enough because I was just like, ooh, it's doing it so fast. But I was impressed. It when I redid my nails the other day, it did well again at that point. I do have some purple that you can still see on my nails, but I think that's from my hair. When I went back and double checked, the purple that you see there on like my pointer finger, that's actually hair dye purple, not nail polish purple. So very impressed with the nail polish remover. Again, you can find it through Grove or straight from their website, Terra Beauty Bars. Okay, this was something else I did notice, is that there was a spot where I had set down one of the pads. I had to clean it off. That's some of my Grove cleaner. I had to clean it off to get the space kind of ready to go. It was sticky, and later when I redid things, it actually did take off some of the finish on my table there. So you do have to kind of be aware of that. That is something that I do encourage you to kind of just keep in mind when you're using this. Just because it's got a lot of good natural ingredients doesn't mean that it's not going to corrode something sometimes. So the other thing that I meant to mention is that there's a lot of research that suggests, I got to get my notes out again because I did a lot of research on this before recording this video. Oh, I did mean to mention that the lavender essential oil also helped the nail polish remover not smell as strong. So on top of the fact there's like no acetone in it, no harsh smells, the essential oils really helped it not smell as harsh as some of the other nail polish removers that I've tried. Oh, so there's a lot of research that discusses whether or not hair dye and nail polish and things of this nature can exacerbate autoimmune conditions. The research that's been done suggests that it has to be somebody who is working in a salon of some sort. So just your everyday nail polish use is not commonly going to exacerbate health issues, not from the current research. Now, if there's somebody who's just doing their nails because that's just what people do and you want to stop, then totally stop and be like, it's for my health. But if you're somebody that maybe is struggling with some other things, maybe you are feeling like you're having problems with hormonal imbalance, that kind of thing, and you want to use a nail polish anyway because it makes you feel better, again, we have to look at this mind, body, spirit combination. We can't say we're going to deprive you of nail polish and hair dye and things of that nature when there are much more effective proven things we can be doing, like eating cleaner or using better nail polish that can help. So in this case, if you're gonna use it and you're having issues with some autoimmune things or some hormonal imbalances or whatever, look to things like this Terra Beauty brand. This nail polish has a lot less of the nasty chemicals in it. Okay, so I used the top and base coat combo, which is their number 20. They also have like a gel, yeah, that's my Southern coming out. They have a gel top coat, and that was something that I did not pick up. I just got this top base coat combination. I liked it. It dried really fast. It was very forgiving. Before you come for me in the comments, guys, I don't do this all that often. And yes, it's sloppy. I have deep nail beds. I have deep cuticles. So some of my technique is not what you would necessarily call the most professional. But I think that makes a difference from the angle of like, I'm just a layperson using this, and my expertise comes from the natural wellness side of things. For anybody that doesn't know, I am an herbal consultant. I have a bachelor's of science in complementary medicine. I am 7 weeks out from graduating with my master's in public health that has a concentration in functional nutrition. And I am about halfway through my PhD in natural medicine. So I was very impressed with this, very impressed with the product. The research that's out there doesn't suggest that this kind of product would be a problem for most people. So yes, definitely loving it. Another thing right here, we're getting into that soft pink color that I liked. And it just about didn't need a second layer. You could almost have put the first layer on and been done. And let me tell you, this stuff, I am very impressed with how well it stayed on. You can kind of see here, they've been on for 5 days. I did do like a slight touch up around the edges. I don't know how much of that you can see, but I did a slight touch up around the edges, but it wasn't necessary. That was just for me to make it feel like it was going to last longer. So I was very impressed with that. Very impressed with the coverage of these different colors. I definitely think it was something that, I will probably get other colors in the future. I went with the pink and the red because that's the classic stuff, right? But I was very impressed with it. It dried relatively quickly. One of the problems I've had with the 10-free colors before is that sometimes they're drying funky. They're not necessarily doing what they should do. And I did run into a little bit once I got into that stamping layer and putting on the top coat. It did kind of want to push back on me, like if I bumped into something. But in general, it was a really forgiving type of polish. I was very impressed with that. One of the things that I think is really important to remember is if you're wanting to grow your nails out to the point where you can do stamping and like have longer stamps, if you just have like your nails down to the quick, you're not going to get as good of a result. Here I am talking like I'm a YouTuber, right? Like, I don't know. But for me, it really made a difference for me to start eating a lot of the leafy greens because you've got some minerals and stuff in them. Also, just in general, like I think that I have had a lot of good results with cold brew teas. So some of you guys know that one of the things that I really like to talk about is getting cold brew. I'm looking this direction because all of my herbs are over in this corner. And so I'm like, okay, name them off, girl. Chickweed, alfalfa, ashwagandha to kind of help the body balance back out. But really the chickweed and alfalfa are the two that I really love to use in a tea. Nettles is another one. And I'm going to combine them with something like either hibiscus or peppermint or maybe both, specifically to kind of get an overall flavor that I really like, flavor profile that I prefer. And I'm going to do it cold and maybe even do it with some marshmallow because of the mucilaginous properties of marshmallow. It makes it a little bit goopy, but a lot of that goopy is very moistening to the body, very moistening to the tissues, and we want that. So again, cold brewing it, which means sticking it in a mason jar, filling up the mason jar with some water, and slapping it in the fridge overnight or for 4 or 5 hours, whatever you can do. And when you pull it back out, it's brewed without you ever having to use hot water on it. And that helps the minerals pull out, and you get more of those minerals, more of some of the aromatic pieces that you don't get if you're doing it hot. Because if you're doing it hot, some of that stuff breaks down, doesn't pull out as well. That's why I love me some cold brew. So yes, this was the dark red color. It's more of I think it's just a basic red. It's not super dark, but I like it. was very impressed with it. And in this case, with what I'm doing here, I just used it to stamp. And I did this because to me, it helps me to see, like, will it hold really well? There was a little bit of bleed when I started putting on the top coat, but it wasn't overly noticeable. Like, you can see a little bit of bleed even on these, but it was very, very good. Again, like for a 10-free brand, this was kind of amazing. I was very impressed with it. And, you know, talking about people being concerned about maybe having more autoimmune issues and whatnot out of using nail polish, get yourself a brand like this, the Terra Beauty Bars brand, because again, they've got several colors. They don't just have the classic like pink and red. I just like classic pink and red, so that's what I got. But they've got some like darker blues and things like that too. And if you will use something like that, and you will also be eating cleaner, doing a lot more of the organic stuff. Of course, you know, your dirty dozen are going to be the fruits and vegetables that you definitely need to get organic. If you've got a little place in your backyard to grow some stuff, grow some stuff. Get your own fruits and veggies straight out of your backyard. You're going to have more in the way of nutrients coming from that, because if it's fresh picked, there's less time for things to degrade. Again, here I am putting on that top coat. I'm real impressed with it. I think that it was fantastic find. And I'm impressed with these women that came up with this. Like their stuff looks amazing. Again, if you ladies are watching, I would love to talk about getting some more of this stuff to try. They've got like some facial scrubs and stuff, and I'd love to review some of that. This didn't have as much in the way of the herbs and things in it. I was kind of expecting, I think, maybe some essential oils in the nail polish, and there wasn't anything like that in there. That's okay. I'm not really sure that I like nail polish that has extra like essential oils, because again, the drying factor, but they dried really well. They stayed on for ages. I was very impressed with how well they held up. And that to me makes a big difference, because if I have to redo my nails every 3 or 4 days, then I'm exposing myself to extra chemicals. Whereas if it takes 6 or 7 days, then that's half as many chemicals getting into my body, right? So if I'm wanting to do nail polish, then I want something that's long lasting, that's 10-free, like the Terra Beauty Bars nail polish. And I'm wanting to also be eating cleaner. I'm wanting to get my exercise in. I'm wanting to do all these different things to create that overall picture. And there's no point in stressing yourself out and saying, well, I can't have my nails done. I can't be pretty looking. Because some people, that's part of their routine. They feel better when their nails are done, when their makeup is done. And if you take that away from somebody, that can make it harder for them to try to get better or to want to stick with their routines. So again, unless something comes out that's like, it's killing us all, I don't understand the major freak out about nail polish and hair dye. You can make good decisions about this. We can stay in that middle ground. I know that that's not extreme, but to me, that whole like middle ground thing is now the extreme, because everybody's either on one end or the other with stuff. We can find that good middle ground, find that balance, and get really good results. As you can see here, the polish held up really well after I cleaned it up a little bit. There are some streaks in the middle finger, but it's not really bad. And this was, again, that light pink with the bright red on top of it. And again, I just can't get over how fantastic it was. The smell was about like a normal nail polish. I'm dropping things over here. The smell was about like a normal nail polish. You didn't have, it wasn't overly one way or the other. Again, the nail polish remover was where I really was impressed with the smell. Yeah, and then of course I actually went and redid my nails, as you are seeing now, with the red on the bottom and then the pink as the kind of stamped over colors. And I was impressed with this because you can't always stamp light colors over dark colors and get any kind of good results, okay? This was kind of impressive to me. This is a great practical nail polish on top of the fact that I really think that it makes a big difference for people who are looking for something that's maybe got a little less chemical in it, but they want something high quality. Like just in general, this was a great nail polish. I'm used to like my nail polishes chipping really quick. I'm out in the garden all the time. I do a bunch of dishes by hand because, You know me, I've got all the antique dishes and stuff. And I'm doing a lot of cleaning around the house and that kind of thing. And it held up really well. I was extremely, extremely impressed with it and the way that this all worked out. All right, so I hope that was helpful for you. I hope that kind of going through that and seeing how it went on and everything makes a difference. Again, it was really forgiving, especially when I was just doing the straight colors and not adding the stamping on top. It did bleed a little bit with the top coat application. Overall, I think I would give this like out of 10, I'd give it a 9.5. There is a little bit of a learning curve as far as like being able to do fancy stuff like stamping and then running the top coat over it in such a way that it doesn't mess up the design. But for just like an everyday polish that you're just slapping a color on and going about your business, I think it's fantastic. I don't know if you guys know, but a long time ago, I used to make nail polish. Like I designed different colors and would pour them up when the whole artisan nail polish thing came through about, I guess it's been about 10 years ago now. And I did that for fun on the side. And so I know what it takes to find a good base and to find good colors and to make something like work on that front. And I've tried out a bunch of different polishes and I've got to say I'm extremely impressed. So if you guys, again, I'll have the links in the comments below. If you guys have questions, anything that you're interested in hearing about me review in the future, let me know, reach out to me and I will look into it. Because again, this was something I bought on my own. I have no affiliation with Terra at this point. Again, I'm impressed and I would love to get some of their face scrubs and talk about the different ingredients in them and how they can actually be extremely beneficial, especially from like an herbal standpoint and whatnot. I also wanted to mention to you guys that collagen is one of these things you hear a lot about, or biotin. Collagen and biotin for nails. That can be helpful in certain circumstances. And if you want to get on something like that, then I would encourage you to talk with me about getting a consult started. And let's just get you figuring out what you need. If you go to naturalwellnesstransformations.com, click on consultation. Right now, since everybody's still kind of in a quarantine state, we're not sure how things are going in the future. I'm doing distance consults. They're 30 minutes a piece. You schedule something, pay what you can. My normal rate is $45 for half an hour, but right now you pay whatever you can. And we will talk about where you are, what's going on, what you need help with, and we will work to kind of build you up to a point where you are like, okay, I've got a game plan now. We can talk again in 2 or 3 months, kind of keep you on track. But I would encourage you to do that first before you go out and spend $40 or $50 on a good thing of collagen, because all you may need is to eat the rainbow with your veggies. You may not be needing to spend a ton of money on different supplements, or there might be a supplement that's closer to $15 or $16 that's a whole herb supplement that will work better for you than going out and buying that biotin gummy or whatever. Okay, guys, love you. You're fantastic. Thank you so much. Let me know what you'd like for me to talk about next week. I'm going to do a hand sanitizer review. I've got the Grove Blood Orange hand sanitizer. I've got the Mrs. Myers Basil Scent hand sanitizer. And my friend from Louisiana sent me up some of her lavender something. You see how well I am with different like scent categories. But hers is Leaf and Lore, and I'm actually going to be reviewing that next week. So I'm looking forward to it, and I'll see you guys soon. Thanks again.